Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gaming Circus, the great... I swear I just did this intro frame for frame on another video. Well, we'll do another one. And while the first act and second act have come out in set 1 with the giant chimera and the master of dolls, it took until set 3 to introduce the third act. And at this point we're more or less making a cult. So come along, because after every single reveal in the set already happened, and I talked about almost none of them except for Archite, it's time to finally discuss Sacrifice Glass. Plus stick around to the end to find out just how well my Direful Dolls did at BCS. I was originally going to do a vlog while I was up there, but turns out that Bushiroad does such a good job at running those events now, I literally had zero time to actually talk about things between rounds. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Make sure you guys watch until the very end, and we'll start talking about today's topic after the jump. The one who governs rituals, Sacrifice Glass, can sacrifice. Mr. Ballhead here has 2 different skills. We'll start off with the one all the way up at the top. At the start of your main phase, you get red text. Whatever, is that red? That's red. Whenever your opponent's unit is retired from rear guard or guard circle, energy charge 1 until end of turn. Until end of turn. Anytime they guard, anytime you retire stuff. You might honestly just be able to energy blast 7 right off the bat and not even care. Honestly. Alright, let's take a look at his main skill. At the end of a battle that this guy attacked, you can energy blast 4. Search your deck or drop or hand for up to 1 manifested greater being grid Dogma. So it's a 2-part thing for the skill. Cool. 2-part attack thing, I guess. Right at stand, and it gets -2 drive check plus 15k until end of turn. Alright, so right there we have, it's gonna be a 28k probably? I assume it's a 13k base, so 28k on restand without drive checks. Still a restander, and like, that still is easily affected by the over trigger for the nation. So right there you get a double crit restand. Awesome. You don't even care about the drive checks. You search your deck, shuffle your deck, and then if you roll a card, your opponent may draw a card. Opponent may draw? I don't know if I like that. We'll have to see what the rest of his support does. But you're letting your opponent draw when you're able to get into your re-ride, so you give them more guard. Still, it's still a restand. Like I said, that OT is pretty good here. So let's take a look at what Grand Dogma is now, shall we? Oh god, it's a giant woman. Call me Steven Universe, because you already know how I feel about giant women. Alright, what's this big girl deal? She is literally living over a city. One is bound other than by bounds. Are we going back to Gear Chronicle? Going back to Gear Chronicle? We're doing bind again? We just had that. We just had that for Direful Dolls. Most bound other than ability of your card with the same name as this card. She can bind herself. Put this card into your drop stand. Okay. How do you bind yourself? Is it from this part? Or this part. I see bind this card at the bottom, so let's read this bottom part first. Then your turn, if your bind zone has 1 or less cards in this with the same name as this unit, choose 1 ritual glass from your soul and ride at rest. If you rode, then bind this card. So you reset to ritual, and then she goes to bind zone, which is gonna be able to proc not this skill. That requires you to be bound by something besides your own skill. Still interesting, like, I don't think, oh god, she please don't, no, she's a ghost, cool. I was about to say, I swear to God, if this card has freaking worker word on it, literally broken in half with Direful Dolls, let's break this card. Well, she's just Casper the Friendly Ghost, so we cool there. Alright, what's your main skill? I already read the top and the bottom. It says, once per turn, at the end of the battle this attack, choose 1 of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Okay, so I was gonna rock off, sacrifice a skill to the energy charge, nice. If the bind zone has 1 or more cards with the same name as this unit, choose another 1 of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. Energy charge 2, nice. That's already half the cost of summon this thing in the first place, because remember your glass is energy blast 4. And your bind zone has 2 more cards with the same name as this unit, stand. stand this unit. She restands herself. After glass rises into her stand. What is Draconic Overlord? This is a double restand deck. Oh my goodness. Even ignoring power and stuff. I mean, glass is gonna give it minus drive checks, which kind of sucks. But you still get 2 attacks off her. Do you get drive checks anyway? I don't see any way for you to get drive checks, unfortunately, because glass gets rid of both of them, right? Yeah, glass gets rid of both. But that's still effectively a triple Vanguard attack deck right here. We're looking at Greedon territory, ladies and gentlemen. Losing drive checks on your first attack kind of sucks. Let's see how the rest of the support really mitigates that. But so far, so good. We have 3 attack, retire heavy deck, lose you energy charge a bunch. Alright, now we looked at the main units, let's go ahead and take a look at the Rideline, I suppose. Look at the ghosty boy. It's Casper the Friendly Ghost! This is the Grand Blue deck right here, okay. I mean, Starter tier. I'm gonna have to do a full video on starter tier lists or whatever, but he's cute. Let's see if he actually matters for the grade 1 soul. Otherwise, I'm just gonna use freaking Chrono Drain or something. So we got the Welcoming Flower Case Hop Pop. Goes from Ghost to Human. It's cute little. It's cute little. Okay. So have your right face, choose one. You don't need the soul. That's all that matters. So this will be whatever. So if you ride phase, choose up to 1 Debauchery Feasting Chefy. I guess just a grade 2. Ride at stand. If you rode your opponent and you both draw a card and you cannot ride it until their turn. I mean, obviously last clause there for superior ride, shenanigans, what's easel, but both you and your opponent draw a card. This is the second time we've seen your opponent drawing a card as part of this deck. I wonder if we could do a weird deck out strat with it. Either way, free ride, not bad. Like, literally, you just ride this and you have to discard 2 cards for your ride line. It's just like why every dragon deck uses Balzagaro. But what do the grade 2 do? Besides have some cake? Oh, there's a lot of cake there. I just saw a bunch of the art things the other day and like I was wondering who had the demon cake. This has the demon cake. Debauchery Feasting Chefy, the chef. I like it. Makes sense. Chefy the chef here. Who is a demon. We have gone from a ghost to a human to a demon. Was read upon by Sacrifice Glass, Soul Blast 1, search up for 1 sweet bait, which we'll get to in just a moment, and reveal it, put in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Cool. It gets pretty sweet bait. What do you do on rear guard? Choose up to 1 face up, graded with Grand Dogma. In your damage zone, you may put it into your hand. Wait, just your damage zone? Can you put cards in damage zone randomly? Is this just Angel Feather also? You may put it in your hand, and if you choose a card from your hand, put it into the damage zone. Is it up to 1? You do have to choose 1, so you can't just cheat in there. Interesting. I mean, I guess it's good because it does have to be face up. Unfortunately, you cannot cheat this way, but just pay attention to your counter blast. Easy as that. This is a good way to cycle your giant demonic goddess back in hand, so consistency, I guess. Probably run 4 just for that. Alright, I guess I have to go over the order next. I was gonna save it for last, but he literally just mentioned it, so let's talk about the best card in the deck. Why does this exist? Why does it go all the way down to the very bottom here? We got Sweet Baits, which is half sweet, half bait, all action. Look at this Demon's Bat. I love this art, actually. This is really cool. So you play this with Counterblast 1. Perform one of the following based on your Vanguard's name. This works for both of them. You got an effect for Sacrifice and effect for Dogma. Let's read Sacrifice first on the top. Show. For Sacrifice Glass, your opponent gets. You play this card and you grant your opponent a skill. All of your rear guards and all cards in your drop zone lose their continuous abilities and their auto abilities, cannot gain them, and cannot be moved from the rear guard to Guardian Circle until the end of your turn. You can literally stop reading here. There's another part of this effect, but you play this card on Sacrifice Glass, all of a sudden your opponent cannot do anything. And then they're gonna have to just waste a bunch of guard, which gives you a bunch of energy, and retire for his skills gives you a bunch of energy. You energize off the fact that you've officially stunned their field. Mega Colony wishes it could. Another part of that effect, I guess, until end of turn, your opponent chooses 3 cards from the drop zone, calls them to rear guard, and for every 3 of your opponent's rear guards, you draw a card. You are setting up the sacrifice, and they can't do anything about it. Like Lambs to the Slaughter, and then just play the freaking new overtrigger that gives you a bunch of draws for retiring a bunch of stuff or whatever. I need to go over this eventually, and you know exactly how to get me to post one of those bids. That's the effect for Glass. Let's take a look and see what it does. For Dogma, if your Vanguard was not placed during the ride phase this turn, activate Persona Ride, choose a number of cards with different grades other than heal or over triggers from your drop zone, return them to your deck, and shuffle it. Raziel wishes you could. Effectively, this is going to do 2 things. First of all, you're going to be able to perform on Persona Ride, of course, which is great because getting +10 drawing cards is always fantastic. There's literally a reason that I voluntarily play the Chalice over a ladder every single time as my Regalia choice. I mean, we got that ladder right here. It's just a Shieldfisher because that's the best deck. And not only that, Legion. How many times am I going to mention this? I literally just mentioned it in my Virgilia video. Make sure you check that out. Legion, mechanic where you put 4 cards back. It's like the most tactical thing ever. Back in the day, you could just say, I'm going to show up 4 triggers back in deck, or I'm going to put one of my Legions back in so I'd be able to continuously loop. You can put perfect cards back in, put the guy that you get summon back in. Like, there's just... It is such a tactical ability. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that it was a 2-set format, Legion best format. But with this, you are restricted, of course. You can't just shove a bunch of triggers back in. You do have to choose different grades, so that's like, what, 4 or 5 cards if you're on grade 4s? You still get to put a Persona Ride in. You still get to put a trigger in, as long as it's not a heal or an over trigger, because we're not that broken. Still get to put a Perfect Guard in, and I don't know, a grade 2. Or grade 4, if randomly putting Bruce in here or something. Fact is, you're shoving 4 cards back in the deck, shuffling, drawing a card off Persona Ride, and gaining power. So, solid. Don't forget, this is on the girl. So, when you're on the girl, you do get a restand for free stand. Combo that with the fact that if you're on glass, you're able to effectively stun their board and let them forcibly call cards to your sacrifice. We have a pretty good order right here. This card is actually insane and makes me wish there's more ways to search it other than just the grade 2 for the Rideline. So I guess we run 4 copies and we'll see if there's more cards in a second when we talk about support. I honestly haven't looked at these support cards yet because it was a very busy week between prepping for BCS and other things I'm not going to talk about. Alright, say look at some support cards. We got 3 cards. Nice, very nice. No, that's Dogma again. 2 cards. Okie dokie. I guess we'll start on the grade 2 because that's what I'm scrolled to. The Eternal Musician, awesome. Still am a musician. I play things with drumsticks. That's Leonore thing right here. She's the bandmaster. We got this demonic music man, Muji, who says, 2 skills looks like nice. Pro front row rear guard, if your grade 3 is sacrifice, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Just a free retire guy. This looks like be a very control heavy deck, and approximate energy charge of sacrifice, so pretty good. Then, okay, so there's one for his sacrifice, one for Dogma. That makes sense. Dogma ability is plus 10 when a unit with when Dogma attacks is plus 10. Is that what's returned? As an auto, I'll have to read a random auto card on a restand thing real quick. But I think that only procs once. What did I put grid on? Where's Book Show? Yo, spoilers, new grid on big coming soon. I'm just doing a bunch of tests on the build I'm currently working on. I think it will work this way. Correct me if I'm wrong, judges down below. But this guy, Book Show, he has his secondary effect that no one really reads because they only use him for his first effect. It says that when your Vanguard attacks, if you Persona Ride this turn, choose one of your Vanguard, it gets plus 5 until end of turn. This is an auto ability and it does stack whenever your Vanguard attacks. So I think this should be the same here. So it just says auto when your thing attacks. Okay. If this is correct, once again, comment down below. I could be completely wrong. If I am, I apologize, Muka. I've been playing you wrong this whole time. But I believe you have a 30k attacker here, which is freaking solid. So a guy either lets you retire a guy for free or have a 30k attacker for free, depending on what card you're on. I love this deck. Oh, it's adaptable. It's adaptable. I love diversity and finding ways to do things with different stuff that does different things. That makes sense, right? Last card, I just saw the word sweet bait on here, and I'm happy. We got the Master Reveries Medulla, another demon, who has 1 skill. Is that just 1 whole skill? Another 2 skills. That last one's very tiny at the bottom, just Energy Blast 5 draw card. No, it's fine. Sacrifice, you just spam a bunch of energy, so I don't think Energy Blast 5 is going to really be an issue. We'll see if it is in some test games, I guess. So, once per turn on rear guard, Soul Blast 1. Okay, we literally done nothing. This is a Dark State deck for Soul, yes. And discard a card, choose a sweet bait from your drop. It gets continuous. This can be played from your drop zone, and will be placed in drop. You can put it in the bottom of your deck instead. Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. So this says that you get to use the same sweet bait twice. Certain lyrical decks may know this, but I don't remember what certain lyrical deck that is because I don't remember if it's made specifically for her or if it's just a card combo. Either way, you're effectively saying 2 uses of the exact same card. And that exact same card is our win condition. That said, just bottom decking it, you still have to effectively draw into other sweet baits. This is just giving you more uses of the 1 sweet bait. But this is going to be a 4 of probably. I want to do a build section. I don't know if I'm going to do blind builds. I might just print off proxies. Like, these don't exist yet, except on the JP app, so. Curious about ratios in this deck, because, like, I feel like you need to run 4 sweet baits, but I feel like you also just need to run 4 of him, because he lets you reuse the sweet baits. And you should be drawing a decent amount, honestly. Like, between Sacrifice's skill, his skill, and sweet bait itself, you should be drawing a decent amount of cards in this deck. So I almost wonder if you just make the front deck and 3 attacks. There's going to be multi-Vanguard stands, but nothing on rear guards. Where'd Alice go? Oh, she fell down. Alice is taking a nap. In general, we're looking at having a 2 to 3 Vanguard attack deck that lets you effectively retire a bunch of cards, draw a bunch of cards, get a bunch of energy, and you either have your choice of making a retire heavy deck or a powerhouse deck based on which card you're on. This is insane. This is awesome. I love it. I'm probably going to have to get Dark State Split now. I was not looking at getting Dark State Split at all because I don't care about the others because we're getting what, like Silver Thorns, I guess, for our revival card. Oh, no. Primo Barrow. Yeah, we might pick up this for this and Barrow. I should do a video on that. Make sure to subscribe to see when it goes live. But I am very happy with how Sacrifice Class is looking right now. No, we can't dish them. I cannot dish my dolls. They are my deck now. Darkseid's just awesome. That's all I can say. Like, modern Darkseids. Last few sets. Ignoring Blankmeyer, he might be a cool new leader, but he is the anti-green on club, so we do not stand that. Comment below what your favorite Divine Darkseid deck is so far, and I think it's about time that I actually give you guys that tournament report. I gotta jump though. We said after the jump, so we gotta actually do a jump. Do a jump. Bring the camera up. We're gonna do a jump. We're gonna jump and jump. I jumped too hard. All right. So results or whatever. I was in BCS Rosemont, Chicago. Team was obviously me. I had someone from locals that I knew, pretty good Duisburg player that was honestly one of the only things I've lost to with the rifle so far, and his friend from another part of the state that I didn't really know about. So right there was not really the best setup just because I didn't know one of the players, and I mean, it's unavoidable. It was either this or I just straight up don't go to any team leagues this year because my locals doesn't travel. Yeah, formation was basically me and seat A with the girls. My friend was right in the middle with Duisburg, and seat 3, his friends, Gandiva, which was a little confusing because they at first were telling me that he was going to be on Ava, so I was like, oh cool. 3 decks that might not be top tier, but they're pretty freaking good. I guess he just didn't want to play Ava until he gets new promos, and y'all already know how it is. I don't care, I play Archite. Oh no, Mr. Android Nuts, I just want to do like that. It's be super awkward. Hold on. This is gonna work somehow. So me A, youth in the middle, dragons at the ends. I honestly had been looking through all the fuzzy posts and all the different standings and stuff. It doesn't seem like there's any rhyme or reason to anything, so I just like, whoever wants to go, whoever, it doesn't matter. Someone's gonna run to Shiranui at some point. Round 1. I ran to Shiranui. Got all the records on here, we're just gonna go over it this way. So basically, I have never tested against Shiranui with rifle dolls. Of course, I played against it billions of times, like the best deck in the game. I went into that match thinking, theoretically, we're good, with all the dolls' abilities getting themselves out of into the bind zone. It's never going to really have anything to dominate. Android's skill is going to give all those girls nice little shield buffs, so in theory, we don't really care about the dominate, and with this 7-ish attacks a turn that Shiranui has, as long as it's not too chunky, just keep on throwing dolls at it, no big deal. The theory worked. Honestly, I was a little concerned. I have to go first because the Great 3 turn does nothing and had your boy ready to go full force. It actually worked out just as I planned. Of course, the Grade 2 game in Shiranui is freaking retarded, like especially if they have the correct setup. But we survived it somehow. Did a cool stride turn. I left them no gas, and I think it took like 2 stride turns or something like that to get the win. We found the weakness, ladies and gentlemen. Shiranui just falls direful balls. Unfortunately, the rest of my team did end up losing that round, so not a good start there. Even worse start that they end up getting called on sleeves. So, I'm just going to try and recap this, but real quick little rant story. I was trying to get there early. Give us plenty of prep time to get whatever we need together, go look for singles for upgrade stuff, make sure sleeves are correct and everything. They want to get breakfast. I don't usually eat too much in the morning. I just had some little snacks in the bag, all that fun stuff between rounds, but they wanted to get a nice full breakfast. Cool, glad they're energized, but we basically got there at the very last second. I mean, we're all checked in through the app and everything, so once again, the Bushnab app actually runs fantastic. Thank you so much, Bushnab. But thanks to that, we got there last second, and they had some sleeve issues at the end of round 1. Not the best start. We ended up getting a time extension into round 2 because of it, and it felt super awkward to just kind of walk to our round 2 seats alone and be like, hey guys, just letting you know, team's on the way. They had some sleeve issues. We got a time extension. Don't worry about it. What was round 2? Chris Rain. That was fun. One of my first times playing against the deck. I think I played against it once with a fun deck at locals, and it's really scary. Just the fact that the guard tricked. The stupid booster for Chris Rain that says you have to throw down like 3 cards, I think, or something like that if you don't perfect guard. If you don't know what's coming, it's kind of horrifying when it hits you, but once again, that is a very weird restriction considering the fact that I'm guarding for the bind zone as well as with PGs, so I kind of get around it as long as I can make enough shield. Chris Rain, of course, is a very scary deck, and the fact that it will make a giant attack and then use Divine Skill to copy that Divine attack onto something else, going for about, I think that you can hit 5 a turn, something like that. On Divine, they can probably hit 5 because of all the bounce shenanigans, but we got there. Grinded out to the very end. I think that match almost went to time, or like it did go to time, but like we had a time extension, so it didn't matter. We won though, so good there. I did end up playing the guy later in free play, and he said that like I probably have the match if we did have the correct timing anyways, so. Round 3, moving on. That's when I played a Vagra and beat a Vagra. That's another deck that's kind of an interesting matchup in general. Like I think decks that I don't play are afraid of control, if that makes any sense. Vagra, of course, the Resand deck. I know we just talked in the main section of the video about it being triple Resander. Divine skill turn, it's a triple Resander. Or double Resander. It attacks 3 times, that's what I'm trying to say. It does get 4 drive checks on that Divine turn. If not, it's 2 drives. It can't be on Divine unless you're at limit break. So if you see it coming, you can dodge around it. Unfortunately, Dolls does have a weird counter blast thing, so I did have to kind of duck and weave however I could, but once again, guarding from Bizel with HP shields is just freaking awesome. That's all I can say. You have to correctly put everything around, but we're good. I will say though, I'm sorry I didn't get records of my teammates just because that was such a fast event, but I can kind of see the wins whenever my Youth player won. I just had no clue what Getty was doing that entire tournament until I asked him about it afterwards. Moving on. Oh, this was sad for me. This was my saddest round personally. I played against Luard. The game itself, fantastic. I think I had OT in hand from like turn 2 or turn 3, something like that. Plus I had Evan Terry ready at some point, but long story short, I kept on playing for the Drag Strider turn, the one with the Garter Strike and the giant attack with 4 drive checks or whatever. They never went into that. They kept on baiting me with the other stride over and over and over and making numbers bigger and bigger and bigger while having more vessels ready on the second and third stride turns. So we did make it to the 3rd stride. It's just like the increased pressure of that deck and the trigger thing and everything. It just eventually gets you on the grind. I couldn't keep up as long as I wanted to. My first loss, I am going to blame it on one thing. That entire tournament, I had my little Alice plush sticking out of my backpack because, of course, I do. I'm playing freaking Nightmare Dolls while representing. But she fell out that round between round 3 and 4, and I had to go look for her. Luckily, thank you again, Bushwood staff. I knew right where to go, just right up to the Lost and Found. Asked, does anyone have an Alice plushie? Cool. So I'm blaming that round specifically on my loss of Alice since I was undefeated before that. That made our second team loss. Unfortunately, we're going, round 2, so 2-2 at that point. I was questioning if my teammates were thinking about dropping just free play, but they wanted to keep going. I mean, I wanted to keep going anyways, because I had a pretty good record outside of that one game, and I was like, I want to see how far I can take this deck on a competitive level, so we kept grinding. Round 5, what we go up against? Raziel, my first Raziel deck. This is a deck I just don't lose to. It's like grind v grind, anti-greed on Miracle Healed, super crit spam, Keter good stuff versus super grind, just never die, infinite loop direful dolls. It's a very long game. I think that one did go like basically until time, but that was a winner. Yeah, that was a win. So basically our game went to time. However, keep that in. My other 2 teammates had already won long before that, so we basically just played for fun. Our match didn't matter at all. That said, we did win it in the time, so we win. We win Raziel match every time. I have yet to lose a Raziel match with Direful Dolls. Moving on, round number 6, going towards the end. Vagra, again. That's my second Vagra. It's my first repeat deck in the entire tournament, so that's super cool. It's at this point that I started noticing one of my teammates playing against Mygo, which he apparently played against 3 times that time. I have never played against Mygo in my life. I still have no clue what that deck does outside of just watching videos and stuff, so might do a little blind builds breakdown on that soon. Make sure you subscribe to see that go live or not. But yeah, I was playing a Vagra again. It was once again a winnable match, very back and forth. My feeling really never mattered for their abilities. I could just like chunk stuff at the small attacks and have a PG ready for the double resend turn or whatever. We did keep up. The only problem is we didn't keep up long enough, and he eventually over triggered me when I was at 5 damage. So yeah, OTs win games or whatever. Not much to say about that. I just got Vanguarded. Got my second loss. Team, I think, also lost that round, so we were going 3-3 at that point. But hey, last round's coming up in the 7-round tournament. We just go for it. And last round, we all won. I just spoiled everything. I played against Raziel again. I already said I won. What's to say about that? I haven't said already. Raziel was just like good Keter deck. Has the ability of Greed on to essentially have an extra life. But we just play against the Miracle. We don't care about the Miracle. You just keep on pushing. You keep poking the bear. If they hit it, that's fine. You just deal them another damage or whatever. And despite being the twin brother of my girl when she comes out in a couple weeks, yeah. Once again, like, where's my freaking record thing? Against Raziel, my current record is 8-1 with Dire Falls. I've only ever lost one game, and that was in the middle of a best 3 match, so yeah, we don't, the Angel does nothing to us. So our final standings, we end up at about 28th place, which not the best, but I mean, it was like 103 teams, I think, so we're still basically in the top 25 percentage. Not bad considering we stuck out the entire tournament, and I was basically carrying the team. No, we had some, there was some good players. I just, like I said, still kind of a blind team. We didn't really have too much time to organize since we come from different parts of the state. And in the future, I would love to go with my locals or some people I actually knew that we could actually talk to the whole time because, you know, teamwork. Half of the team game is working together as a team, and guys are cool, but it's just a limited knowledge pool there, so that's all I can say. But that was your 2-for-1 video today. You guys got 2 things. You got a tournament report and you got a breakdown analysis of Direful Doll, Man, Glass, Cannon. I'm just gonna put some K-means up again. Freaking love Digital Circus so far, so good. But what do you guys think? Do you enjoy the Ringmaster? Am I actually still good at Vanguard even though I didn't top again? And why is the Gearman Circuit still work for literally everything that's come on DivineZ so far? Like, this is the new hashtag. This is the, I'm just gonna change the channel name. If this keeps up, we get another Pale Moon Gear Crawl Confusion thing. We're just straight up changing the Gearman Circus. Look forward to that, whatever. If you guys enjoy this kind of video, make sure to leave. I've already told you to subscribe. Just do it. Thanks. We're so close to 200 when I record this. Actually, Future Jared, between recording and editing this, I put up an 8-second clip of my dog walking downstairs that got 33,000 views and somehow 40 new subscribers. So, thank you, Coney. Thank you, all my new subscribers. Please stick around. I promise I will have my dog in future videos, but this is also a card game and coaster content channel, so I would love to hit 200. I would love to hit the uppy views, eventually get to the point where I can make this a full-time job with everybody. You know, that's the dream of all YouTubers, so make my dream come true. Until then, if you want to help support this small channel, make sure to check out my page on TCG Player where I sell all sorts of card game thingy things. I don't have any official things anymore because Raise Energy stopped doing their partner program. So, you know, if we get cool enough, G Fuel, Gamer Subs, hit me up. I'm a free agent now. But until we meet next time, always embrace the infinite.